Bears are among the most brutal creatures in the animal kingdom. Not just towards other species, but even to their own kind, and yes, even their own cubs. No matter the target, when a bear decides to strike, it does so with sheer force and relentless violence. What you're about to witness is a raw display of nature's most unforgiving side. It began with a bear sitting quietly by the coast, seemingly lost in thought. Meanwhile, two other bears were locked in an intense battle out in the water. They clashed like gladiators, their massive paws swinging, but the water slowed their movements, turning the fight into a slow-motion spectacle. Eventually, one bear triumphed, leaving its opponent defeated while the lone observer on shore just watched, indifferent and detached from the chaos. With each swing of their powerful paws, water exploded into the air, turning the clash into a dramatic, slow-motion spectacle of strength and fury. Grunts echoed, muscles strained, and the tide turned, until one bear finally emerged victorious, leaving the other defeated and weary. And yet, the solitary bear on shore never flinched. Calm, detached, almost philosophical, it watched the storm unfold, untouched by the violence just feet away. In yet another chilling and unforgettable moment, a curious fawn wandered too close to danger, innocently approaching a tree where two bear cubs were tumbling and playing. Hidden nearby in the tall grass, the mother bear had been watching quietly, waiting. But the moment she spotted the fawn, instinct took over. With terrifying speed, she lunged from the shadows and launched a brutal assault. The fawn had no time to react. Its fate was sealed. This wasn't just a hunt. It was a savage lesson for her cubs, a demonstration of the harsh realities they'd one day face. There was no hesitation, no remorse. Nature doesn't teach with kindness, it teaches with blood. We witnessed a mother's desperate battle driven by pure instinct and unbreakable love. When a much larger bear threatened her cub, she launched into a fearless defense, biting, swiping, doing everything in her power to protect her young. For a moment, it worked. Against the odds, she drove the intruder away, standing over her cub, panting but defiant. But the moment of peace was short-lived. The attacker returned, this time more aggressive, more determined. The mother fought with everything she had, but the difference in size and strength was too great. In a heartbreaking finale, the cub was killed. A brutal reminder that in the wild, even the strongest love isn't always enough. Out in the water, two massive bears were locked in a fierce and primal duel. They clashed like titans, powerful paws slamming into each other with thunderous force. But the water turned their brawl into a dramatic, slow-motion struggle. Every move heavy, every blow deliberate. After a grueling exchange, one bear finally gained the upper hand, forcing the other into retreat. Victory was clear, and on the shore, another bear. Elsewhere, a truly heartbreaking scene unfolded in the wild. A mother bear moved cautiously through the forest with her two cubs, one limping and clearly injured, vulnerable in a world where weakness doesn't go unnoticed. Suddenly, a massive male grizzly appeared, eyes locked on the wounded cub. In an instant, the peaceful moment turned into chaos. With a roar, the mother bear threw herself between the predator and her young, her maternal instincts igniting a fierce defense. She clawed, bit, and pushed with every ounce of strength she had, desperate to protect her baby. But male grizzlies are built for dominance, towering in size and raw power. The clash was violent and desperate, but tragically short. Despite the mother's bravery, she was overwhelmed. The attacker reached the injured cub, and within moments, it was over. In another harrowing scene, we're reminded that not even a den guarantees safety. Deep in the forest, a black bear mother had found what she thought was a secure hiding place. A cozy den tucked beneath fallen trees, where her three cubs nestled close. For a moment, all was calm, but peace in the wild never lasts long. Suddenly, a massive grizzly appeared, drawn by the scent of the family. With terrifying power, it began ripping through the den, tearing apart branches and debris as if they were nothing. Panic erupted inside. One cub made a frantic dash for freedom, but the grizzly was faster. In an instant, it was caught. With no time to grieve, the mother grabbed her remaining cubs and bolted into the woods. The chase was relentless, heart-pounding. Not all escaped, but thanks to her courage and quick instincts, some did. It was a brutal reminder. In the wild, even the safest places can become battlegrounds in a matter of seconds. A mother bear and her cubs had taken center stage, locked in what looked like a full-blown family argument. The cause? Lunch, apparently. The mother let out impatient growls while one particularly stubborn cub swatted back with tiny but defiant paws. Another cub rolled around in the middle of the road, clearly uninterested in the drama. The growling escalated. Paws flew in every direction. It was pure chaos, bear style. But after a few tense moments and what looked like a mutual agreement, or mom just having had enough, the whole furry family turned around and shuffled back into the woods. No resolution, no apologies, just another dysfunctional family moment, courtesy of the animal kingdom. In one bizarre and unsettling encounter, a large bear suddenly lunged at a parked car, seemingly unprovoked. The driver, frozen in panic, could only watch as the bear clawed at the doors, slammed its massive paws on the windshield, and growled with primal fury. For a moment, it looked like the car would be torn apart, but just as suddenly as the attack began, it ended. The bear huffed one final breath, turned its back on the dented vehicle, and casually strolled away, back to its cubs waiting by the trees, as if nothing had happened. To the humans, it was chaos. To the bear? Just another strange moment in a wild day. In another brutal and unforgettable showdown, two massive bears clashed with explosive fury, their roars echoing through the forest. The brawl was so intense that it spilled out of the trees and onto a nearby road, where the rivals continued trading bone-crushing blows like heavyweight champions in a no-rules fight. Their claws tore at each other, mouths wide in rage, neither willing to back down. Dust and fur filled the air as the earth trembled beneath them. Off in the distance, a lone animal, perhaps a deer or wolf, stood frozen, watching in absolute silence. It knew better than to interfere. In yet another chilling encounter, a curious fawn wandered too close to a tree where bear cubs were playfully tumbling about. Hidden in the nearby grass, the mother bear had been watching quietly until instinct took over. In a flash, she charged. The fawn never stood a chance. With ruthless precision, the bear struck it down, delivering a swift and savage kill. For her cubs, it was more than a meal. It was a harsh, real-time lesson in survival. There were no fairy tales in this part of the forest, only the raw, unforgiving rules of